We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. Today we'll tell you about an important development that could change the course of the war. In recent days, news from the Ukrainian front indicates that the Russian army is weakening on a critical defense line. Especially the developments in the Kursk region have led to a serious questioning of Russia's strategic plans. According to claims from local sources, Russian troops have abandoned control points in the region and even completely vacated some defense positions. This situation is met with great concern by military analysts who closely follow the war. Although not yet officially confirmed, this withdrawal of Russian troops may hold important clues for the future of the war. There are reports that Russian troops deployed to the Kursk defense with inadequate preparations have withdrawn in the face of pressure from the Ukrainian army. It's stated that these troops, which are controversial especially in terms of military competence, face great difficulties in defending the region. Breaking the resistance in the region could mean a serious strategic loss for Russia. It remains unclear how this critical development will affect Russia's war strategy and how it will change the military situation in the region. However, many military experts agree that this retreat could be a harbinger of a bigger failure. The loss of control in a strategically important region like Kursk could create a major problem not only militarily, but also in terms of logistics and morale in the region. So, what's the latest situation regarding Russia's troops? Let's take a look together. Before moving on to our report, here's a small reminder. As the Anka Daily News team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We also read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. A claim that dropped like a bomb on Russian media in the past few days has brought the course of the war and Russia's strategic defense power back to the agenda. A video that quickly spread on Russian social media revealed that checkpoints just 20 or 30 kilometers from the front line in the Kursk region were left empty and there were no Russian soldiers in the area. While the person who recorded the video drew attention to the defense weakness in this strategic region, this situation reveals that Russia had a great weakness in defending Kursk, especially considering how short this distance is. The presence of Russian troops in the area is extremely weakened. This raises serious questions about Russia's defense strategy and military power since the beginning of the war. The fact that there are no military checkpoints just behind the front line in a strategic area like Kursk clearly demonstrates the success of the Ukrainian army's advance in the region. Not only has the Ukrainian army intensified its offensive in the region, but it's also weakened the Russian defense lines step by step, taking important steps towards gaining control over such critical areas. The statements of Russian sources on this situation are remarkable. Following the release of the video, military and civilian officials in the region tried to clarify the situation. However, these statements raised more questions in the minds of military analysts. Allegedly, there are no military forces on the roads 30 kilometers from the front lines in the Kursk region at night. Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups can easily use these roads to launch attacks on targets of their choice. In fact, these groups can move without encountering any resistance, which points to a serious weakness of the Russian defense. According to information from local Russian sources, Russian security forces and Rosgvardia have completely evacuated checkpoints, especially at night. Among the reasons for this is the lack of night vision devices and security cameras. In other words, the Russian army is having serious problems with night patrols due to the lack of modern combat technologies. Russian sources state that this deficiency makes them particularly vulnerable to Ukrainian sabotage groups. These groups can move freely on Russian-controlled roads at night and organize attacks on logistics lines and military convoys. Russian military personnel say they are aware of this situation but avoid the responsibility of patrolling the roads because they need to focus on their own missions. The possibility of sabotage groups ambushing Russian soldiers on patrol makes such operations even more risky. Therefore, the fact that Russian soldiers avoid patrolling and leave checkpoints empty further deepens the security weakness in the region. These developments make Ukraine's success in Kursk even more evident, not only through direct military strikes, but also through sabotage and reconnaissance operations. The Ukrainian army has managed to shake Russia's defenses to the core. This incident in the Kursk region shows once again how flexible and effective Ukraine's war strategy is. In particular, the effectiveness of sabotage groups in the region clearly reveals Russia's weaknesses behind the front lines. It's believed that the Ukrainian army is further lowering the morale of Russian troops in the region with such operations. It's reported that Russian soldiers serving in the Kursk defense have insufficient experience and have difficulty in protecting the region. Russia's deployment of inexperienced and ill-prepared troops to the region instead of experienced soldiers has further consolidated the Ukrainian army's superiority in the region. Allegations that these inexperienced troops started to retreat under pressure from the Ukrainian army and abandoned checkpoints could drastically change the course of the war. This retreat in Kursk also reveals significant weaknesses in Russia's war strategy. The fact that checkpoints are left empty, especially at night, and that Ukrainian sabotage groups move freely in the region shows that Russia has serious problems in protecting its logistic lines and behind the front lines. Such weaknesses could further weaken Russia's military presence in the region in the long run. This threat in the Kursk region, which has an important place in Russia's military strategy, could be a critical turning point for the future of the war. Leaving the checkpoints in the region empty and the withdrawal of Russian troops could accelerate Ukraine's advance in the region and make it more difficult for Russia to achieve its strategic goals. In particular, the activity of Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups in the region significantly threatens Russia's defense system. One of the most important factors weakening Russia's control in the region is that these groups can act with great freedom due to the lack of night patrols by the Russian army and the lack of modern combat technologies. Using this advantage, the Ukrainian army can continue to make great military gains in the Kursk region. What do you think? What do you think it means when Russian troops leave checkpoints empty? How will the gaps in the checkpoints affect the situation in Kursk? Do you think the Russian army will be able to re-establish border control? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.